Hey everybody, let's all do a little clapping. Let's all do a little clapping. Let's all do a little clapping to spread holiday cheer. Let's all do a little blinking. Let's all do a little blinking. Let's all do a little blinking to spread holiday cheer. Let's all do a little smiling. Let's all do a little smiling. Let's all do a little smiling. It's the best time of year. So thank you for joining me this afternoon. I have some holiday ideas to share with you. Now I want to mention that I know some of you are in schools where you're not allowed to celebrate holidays. So you can just change the words of these things. Like for the first song, let's all do a little clapping. Let's all do a little clapping. Let's all do a little clapping. December is here or winter is here. Just change the words and you can make it work. I also wanted to mention that I'm going to be doing some standards, tie-in standards today. And I've got some craft activities. Sometimes there's a debate, should we give children crafts to do or should we give them open-ended art activities to do? I think both of them are important to give children. An example of an open-ended art activity might be to recycle some paper bags or some newspaper and give children some pine needles, and you can talk about evergreen trees at that time, and they dip the pine needle in the paint and then let them just freely paint across the page. It's a really good open-ended art activity and a great way to get some inexpensive wrapping paper. More closed craft activity, I'm going to show you some things to do with children's hands. And you know, there is value in doing crafts with children. It's good for their small motor skills. I think that doing crafts with children, you're also doing technology and engineering, because engineering, they have to think of a design and a plan, and you might have them close their eyes and get a picture of what they want it to look like when they're finished. You're also using tools, technology, scissors, hole punch, glue, tape, whatever it might be. And also with these craft activities, think about this, you are developing the executive function because there is task initiation and task completion. They start something and they complete something, and so that is a really good process that we want children to work through. And these are the kind of things that parents save. In fact, I have things that my daughter and my son made 40 years ago, similar craft activities, and I save them every year, and I love to get them out at the holiday time. You know, anything you do with children's hands, they absolutely love. So these craft activities can be done where they put their hand down and you trace around it, which they love. You can also let them dip their hand in paint and then press it to a sheet of paper, which they enjoy doing. And so like this one with Santa, you would paint red on the palm and the thumb and then paint the fingers white, and then they apply it to the page and then they can decorate it to make it look like Santa. These things can be used for cards. They can be used for bulletin boards, and they can also be used to make some t-shirts or sweatshirts if you have a good parent volunteer that wants to come help you do that. So this is a Santa one. You can also use children's hands and trace around them, or let them dip it in paint, and then when it dries they can decorate it and make their own little reindeer. I like to have children name the things that they do, so they could name their reindeer, but you could even use this as a prompt for a creative writing activity. This is one made with hands and feet, and I've seen this one used on t-shirts with the children, and their foot becomes the reindeer head, and then their hands are the reindeer antlers. And if you happen to do this on a t-shirt, it'd be fun to put a red pom-pom nose. We all have lots of little angels in our classroom this time of year. In fact, one of the transition activities I use to get my children's attention, I would say, "Where are my little angels?" And when I said, "Where are my little angels?" they would look at me and smile and shine their halos. And it was surprising. They couldn't do anything negative if they were smiling and shining their halos. So it was a really good way to focus their attention. But this one, the foot is the angel's body, and then their hand becomes the angel's wings. And you could let them draw their picture or just cut out their face and put it here. This is a good one for Hanukkah, and I just like to do all the holidays. And so this one, the children's fingers become the candles, and then when you put the candle in the middle, you have your menorah. Now, some of these can be used, like I said, for bulletin boards or kind of group projects. This one with the children's foot, they can decorate it, and this would be something you could even use for a bulletin board the end of the month before the children go home. Let them make these little bells and with their feet, and then you can say ring in the new year, and you've got your bulletin board made. I probably would use different colors if I were going to do one for the new year. This one is always a popular one, and you know, you realize some of the things I'm sharing with you I did 45 years ago, but it always surprises me that people go, oh, that's a great idea. So some of you might not have seen this one before. You trace around the children's hands and let them cut them out, and I would encourage them to do as much as possible. I mean, even if a hand just looks like when they get through with it, when you put it together, it's all good. And if you glue just the palm to the tree, in the tree shape, then you can take their little fingers and you can curl up the little fingers, and it makes it look a little more three-dimensional. And then this is another one where you make a wreath with their hands. Again, you could cut them out, or you could let them dip them in green paper and put them around here. I have two other ideas I want to share with you. I know some of you might have to do programs for PTA or different organizations this time of year. And this is what, this was a real easy costume that we made one year. It's just a paper plate, and you cut the center out, and then you cut a slit so you can, and then staple a bow on, and you can slip it around the children's heads, and it looks like, you know, a little choir robe or something. Real simple craft activity. And then another one that they always get a kick out of making, the reindeer antlers, and then the feet are the antlers, and you just glue them to a headband, and then you can add a nose if you would like to. I have a few activities that you can use for math or some of your other standards. This is a little elf, and some of you might have a real elf on the shelf, but you can make little puppet elves. And can you put him under your chin? Can you put him on your head? Can you put him behind you? So all those positional words. Or you could take the little elf and you could put him someplace and then have the children describe, where is the elf? Here are a few ideas for reading. These are little gingerbread boys, and I got this idea a couple years ago when I visited a school in Islip, New York. They let the children decorate the little gingerbread cookies, and then they put the sight words on there. And the bulletin board was read fast as you can do it, I know you can. And this was up in January, so this could be December or January bulletin board. And if you had this out in the hall, what a great way to encourage children to read the sight words. Or with the younger children, you might just want to put alphabet letters or numbers, count fast as you can. Do you see how I take something real simple and then just adapt it? This is another idea that's really good to tie in reading or vocabulary. Each day they get a strip and they write a sight word on a strip, or you could have them write a sentence with a sight word, or you could do some of the vocabulary words for this time of year, like brilliant, or I was thinking of like the Night Before Christmas, mine, or kerchief and I in my cap. A lot of the old poems and the books you might read will have vocabulary that children aren't familiar with. They don't know what a kerchief is, and so you could do vocabulary this. So sight words, a sentence every day, vocabulary word, words from literature. You could make these chains. I would stick with one concept depending on the age of the students. Again, you could also use this with some of your Hanukkah colors if you just wanted to do blue and white, or with Kwanzaa colors, red and black and green. You can make them that way. I have some cooking activities, and I know a lot of you are not allowed to cook in your classrooms now. It just used to be one of my favorite things, just to watch the children, just to put it out there and see how engaged they were. And they didn't care what it looked like when they got finished. They were just so engaged in the whole process of making the activity. So even though you can't do them at school, you might want to send these recipes home, or you could do them with your own children or grandchildren or whatever. And by the way, all of these ideas are on my blog, drjeanandfriends.blogspot.com. So this is one I used to like to make. This is a little reindeer sandwich. And the things I'm showing you are all healthy. So you slice a piece of bread diagonally, and then you let them spread peanut butter on it. And they get an M&M for nose and raisins for eyes, and then you give them pretzels, and they break the pretzels, and those are the antlers. If you have children with peanut allergies, you can always use cream cheese and dye it, and they make really good gluten-free bread, so if you have a child with a gluten allergy, that would work. This is a menorah, and this is a banana. And then you've got your pretzels, 4 on each side, and then just a strip of licorice in the middle. And there you go with that one. This one is the wreath, and this is a bagel. You dye the cream cheese green. They spread the cream cheese on the bagel and then add little Fruit Loops or M&Ms if you want, and you've got a little bagel. With the children, I suggest you use the little bagels because a big bagel is way too much for them to eat. And then here's another cooking activity, and I varied this with the seasons. At Christmas time, I called it reindeer oats, and I put some butter in my electric skillet, and they dump in the Cheerios, and we'd stir them around and get them nice and toasty, and then we would sprinkle salt on them, and we called them reindeer oats. When you sprinkle salt on Cheerios that have just been kind of tossed in butter a little bit, it tastes like popcorn. And then at Valentine's Day, I would do hugs. And so the Cheerios were the hugs, and again the butter. And then at Valentine's Day, we would use cinnamon sugar and sprinkle it on there. And it's just a tasty little snack. Very inexpensive, very healthy, easy to do with the kids. This is another snack activity I wanted to share with you. This is a little package of hot chocolate and a candy cane, and the little poem goes like this. Here's a little snowman soup, complete with stirring stick. Add hot water, sip it slow. It'll warm you up real quick. And so this might be a good gift to let the children make, to give to some of your school specials or some of your parent volunteers or anybody around the school. This is just a nice little gift, a nice way to say thank you. I have some books I wanted to share with you, and it's getting darker in my office now. The sun's going down, so I hope you can see okay. One of the books that I like to make with children, this is a napkin book. And so if you go to the dollar store and get some napkins, cut paper the size of the napkin, staple it in here, and you have great little blank books. You put these out in the writing center, and they will have more fun writing in these little books. Another book I wanted to share with you, this one is the candy cane book. So it's 2 sheets of paper folded in half, and then you punch holes about 1 inch from each end, and you stick in a candy cane, and you've got a great little candy cane book. Again, great motivation to have for children to read and write. If you are not allowed to use food, you can give them a popsicle stick and let them decorate it like a candy cane. They're just as happy with that as anything. A bigger book can be made with holiday and seasonal pencils, and I'm going to take this one apart so you can see how I construct both of these. Now, I know kids can't put these together. This would be a good thing for maybe 4th or 5th grade book buddies to make for your kids, or if you have a parent volunteer, or while you're watching TV, you can easily whip these out. So fold the paper in half, and like I said, if you want a larger book, don't cut it in half, just fold it in half. Punch holes from each end. And then if you take the rubber band and you stick it through one hole and slide the pencil or the candy cane through that loop, and then take the other end of the rubber band and stick it through the other hole and slide the other end of the pencil or candy cane through that loop, then that's another way to bind the book. And this one, this is just a winter pencil. And so if you don't want to celebrate Christmas, you can just get some winter pencils and make these. And they could use this for a science journal, a weather journal, or some other writing activities. Kids love to make cards. And you don't have to buy expensive cards. I'll show you how to share this, how to make them with the children. You fold the paper in half, and you have to remind them to line up the corners nice and neat, and then you fold it in fours, and you have a simple card that you can use for all sorts of different holidays and seasons. My suggestion would be to teach children how to make these cards and then have a card making center. And you could have scrap paper and stickers and pencils and markers and crayons and staple and glue. You don't need to staple, glue and all sorts of different things, old scrap wrapping paper. And it's the card shop, and they can go make cards for people. So they can make a holiday or seasonal card, or just I like you card. Good thing to do with the card shop too would be to put like a holiday or seasonal dictionary. So I've got like a little rebus calendar with words that they might want to use in their cards, and then little picture clues. You could also have another sheet of paper just with a brainstorm with it. When they come ask you how to spell a word, you could write it down and put those up for the children. And then a little tiny gift card. This one is made. You put your thumb in the ink pad and put it on the paper, and then you can decorate it to look like a reindeer, and that's a good little gift card. So it's about time for me to finish, but I just wanted to share a few more ideas with you. If you go to my website, drjean.org, I have 5 different free song downloads this month, and I also have books to go with them. And what one teacher said she did was she took a book and she took the song and made like 4 copies of the song, and then put the song with the book in the listening center. And she said that was her listening center for the whole month. So you know Jingle Bells, you got that one. This is one. I had a little dreidel, I made it out of clay. And another song you can download is Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is coming. And there is one. There is a jolly bearded man, and Santa is his name, O-S-A-N-T-A. And then there's also a holiday alphabet. Deck the room with letters and sounds, la 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 la. So I hope you'll go to my website, and I hope you get those songs, and I hope you have a very happy month. I've got a busy month ahead of me, flying to Pittsburgh tomorrow. Thursday, I have a day off, and I'm going to be in Johnson City, New York, and I'm going to be doing 2 free concerts with their Head Start children. And then I also get to go to my friend Carolyn Kislowski's class. She wrote the books Reading Recipe and Math Recipes with me, and I get to sing with her kids. And then next week, I'm going to be in Fort Worth and Houston, and then I'm going to be doing lots of volunteer work with the lower income schools in Charleston until the end of the month. So I will probably see you the first part of January. Happy, 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 happy everything. Bye now.